Cleveland drafted a potential franchise QB, and now they're holding him hostage. Shedeur Sanders is a third-string prisoner, while the front office secretly scouts his replacement.
In areas of a football team you want to keep guarded with the safe space is the locker room. One place that is definitely in jeopardy of losing any security, anything being secret, is the Cleveland Browns locker room. Now, I am here to tell you, the locker room has been leaking information to Browns insiders for the last...
The Cleveland Browns locker room is in full-scale rebellion, and it's all about Shedeur Sanders. Multiple team insiders are now leaking explosive information daily, with players reportedly furious that the coaching staff is deliberately sabotaging the most talented quarterback on their roster. What started as whispers has exploded into open warfare, and the evidence is damning. They're not just benching Shedeur. They're systematically destroying his career while he sits helplessly as a third-string prisoner. But here's the twist that's about to blow your mind. The real reason they won't let him play might be the most pathetic move in NFL history.
I'm committed to his development, just like all of our rookies. So we'll continue to focus on getting our guys better, and that's what we'll stay committed to. And that's
one of the Browns insiders, Rizzo, leaked this earlier today, and just like I stated, this is looking spooky, man. Let's listen to it.
Is the kid progressing? Is he improving? Is he being developed by the Cleveland Browns?
Riz, history would tell us probably not.
Right there, boom. He's not even being developed by the damn Cleveland Browns.
Yo, what's really going on here? Look, I've been covering the NFL for years, and I've never seen anything like what's happening in Cleveland right now. We're talking about a complete breakdown of trust, loyalty, and basic human decency. And at the center of it all, the most disrespected young quarterback in the league. You know that sacred space every team protects? The locker room? Well, forget about it being sacred anymore, because Browns players are so fed up with how they're treating Shedeur Sanders that they're breaking the ultimate code. They're talking to reporters. They're leaking information, and they're making it crystal clear that they've had enough. Think about this for a second. How desperate do you have to be as a player to risk your career by going public with locker room drama? These guys are putting their necks on the line because they can't stand watching what's happening to their teammate anymore. And honestly, good for them.
I reported on this yesterday, right? I reported on this yesterday. It stated he didn't play, but Shedeur Sanders has been criticized for his attitude on the Cleveland bench. Now, we remember yesterday on ESPN Cleveland, that one reporter dude went on a whole damn rant about Shedeur Sanders needing to conduct himself a certain way on the bench. Let's listen to it, because now that same segment has made national news.
Here's what's been leaked over the past week, and trust me, each piece of information is more damning than the last. First, we find out that Kevin Stefanski is extremely frustrated with all the information coming out. Well, Kevin, maybe if you weren't running your organization like some kind of medieval prison camp, your players wouldn't feel the need to expose you to the media. But here's where it gets really juicy. There's apparently a massive push from within the locker room to get Shedeur Sanders actual playing time. Not just garbage time minutes. Not just practice squad reps, real, meaningful snaps with the first team. And why wouldn't there be? This kid was projected as a first-round draft pick before some mysterious forces started working against him. Now let's talk about that draft slide for a minute, because this is where the conspiracy gets thick. How does a quarterback with Shedeur's talent, his pedigree, his proven track record at Colorado, suddenly fall from first-round projections all the way to the fifth round? That doesn't just happen by accident, my friends. That's coordinated character assassination, and now we're seeing the same playbook being used in Cleveland. You want to know what's really eating at these Browns players? It's watching their front office attend college football games, scouting for next year's quarterback, while they've got a future superstar sitting right there in their building being completely wasted. Imagine being a Browns offensive lineman, knowing you could be protecting a guy who might actually give you a chance to win games. But instead you're watching management treat him like he's radioactive. The disrespect runs so deep that Shedeur isn't even getting proper development opportunities. When Browns insider Rizzo was asked point-blank about whether Shedeur is progressing and being developed by Cleveland, his response was devastating. History would tell us probably not. Just let that sink in for a moment. They're not even pretending to develop him anymore. This is straight-up organizational malpractice. You draft a quarterback in the fifth round, which was already highway robbery considering his talent level, and then you don't even give him the basic courtesy of proper coaching and development? What kind of franchise operates like this? But here's what makes this situation even more infuriating. The Browns are so paranoid about Shedeur's potential that they won't even put him on the practice squad. Why? Because they know that another team would swoop in immediately and claim him. Think about what that tells you about their real assessment of his abilities. If they truly believed he wasn't NFL material, they'd have no problem exposing him to waivers. Instead, they're holding him hostage on the active roster as their third-string quarterback, making sure he can't go anywhere else, while simultaneously making sure he can't succeed where he is. It's the most cowardly move I've ever seen from an NFL front office, and that's saying something. Now, here's where this story takes an even more disgusting turn. After keeping Shedeur glued to the bench, some Cleveland media personalities had the audacity to criticize his attitude during games. Let me break this down for you because this is where the Browns organization showed their true colors. During a recent game, Shedeur was caught on camera consoling kicker Dustin Hopkins after a missed field goal. You know what any normal human being would call that? Good leadership, excellent teammate behavior, the exact kind of character you want in your franchise quarterback, but not in Cleveland. Oh no, in Cleveland, some media puppet went on a completely unhinged rant suggesting that Shedeur only consoled his teammate to get camera time. Are you kidding me? This kid can't even show basic human compassion without having his motives questioned? The same media member then had the nerve to criticize Shedeur for wearing his hat backwards and sunglasses on the sideline. Backwards hat and sunglasses. As if Joe Flacco hasn't done the exact same thing. As if Jalen Hurts doesn't rock that look regularly. But when Shedeur does it, suddenly it's a problem with his focus and commitment. This is the kind of microscopic nitpicking that happens when an organization has already decided they don't want you to succeed. They'll find fault with everything: your body language, your clothing choices, even your acts of kindness toward teammates. It's character assassination disguised as analysis. But here's what they don't want you to know. That criticism? It made national news. Why? Because people outside of Cleveland can see exactly what's happening here. They can see a young man being systematically destroyed by an organization that's too proud to admit they were wrong about him. What makes this even more pathetic is that Browns fans are divided on whether consoling a teammate is appropriate behavior. Let me repeat that. There are actual Browns fans who think showing compassion to a struggling teammate is somehow wrong. That tells you everything you need about the toxic culture this organization has created. The real kicker? The same people criticizing Shedeur's sideline behavior are the ones who've been begging for leadership and character at the quarterback position for decades. Well, congratulations, Cleveland. You've got it sitting right there on your bench, and you're too blind to see it. Here's what I think is really happening, and this is where it gets really dark. The Browns know they messed up. They know they got a steal in the 5th round. They know other teams are watching and waiting for any opportunity to grab Shedeur. So instead of admitting their mistake and giving him a real shot, they're trying to destroy his confidence and reputation so thoroughly that when they finally do release him, they can point to all this manufactured controversy and say, "See, we told you he was a problem." It's the Baker Mayfield playbook all over again, except this time they're doing it to a kid who hasn't even gotten a real chance to fail yet. At least Baker got to play and prove himself before they turned on him. Shedeur is being sabotaged before he even gets in the game. But you know what? This might be the best thing that could happen to Shedeur Sanders in the long run. Because every day he spends in Cleveland is another day the rest of the NFL gets to see how this organization operates. Every leaked story, every piece of criticism, every example of their dysfunction just makes it clearer that the problem isn't with Shedeur, it's with them. When Shedeur finally does get his opportunity, whether it's in Cleveland or somewhere else, he's going to be carrying the chip of every slight, every criticism, every moment they try to break his spirit. And that's when we're going to see what he's really made of. The Browns locker room sees it. The media outside Cleveland sees it. NFL executives around the league see it. The only people who don't seem to see Shedeur's potential are the ones who are supposed to be developing it. So here's my prediction. This situation is going to get worse before it gets better. More information is going to leak. More players are going to speak out. And eventually, the pressure is going to force Cleveland's hand one way or another. Either they're going to have to give Shedeur a real shot to prove himself, or they're going to have to explain to their fan base why they let another talented quarterback walk away to succeed somewhere else. Because make no mistake about it, Shedeur Sanders is going to be successful in this league. The only question is whether it's going to be in Cleveland or somewhere that actually appreciates what they have. The Browns organization can try to control the narrative all they want, but they can't control the truth. And the truth is that they've got a future star quarterback that they're too stubborn and too proud to utilize properly. But hey, that's just my take. What do you think? Is Cleveland systematically sabotaging Shedeur Sanders? Or is there something we're not seeing? Are the players right to speak out? Or should they keep quiet and let this play out? And most importantly, where do you think Shedeur should go if Cleveland doesn't give him a real chance? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because this story is far from over, and I want to hear what you think is going to happen next. If you enjoyed this breakdown of the Browns' dysfunction, make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell, because trust me, there's going to be a lot more drama coming out of Cleveland in the weeks ahead. The war between the Browns' locker room and coaching staff over Shedeur Sanders is just getting started, and we're going to be here to cover every single development. Peace out.